In this video, we spend 2 nights at the Spruce Mountain Lookout Tower.
Yeah, come along as we give you a tour and show you what it's like to stay here. So at some point we heard about this fire tower up in Wyoming where the Forest Service actually rents it out and you can spend a few nights there.
So we've been thinking about it for a while, and over the winter I think I was dreaming about summer and thinking about activities. The reservations aren't super easy to get. It's the kind that opens 6 months out, and you sort of need to be online at opening time to ready to click submit. So it took me a couple of weeks of being ready every morning at 8 a.m. but we got 2 nights and we are heading out to see what it's like.
All right, let's go.
So the tower is in the snowy range inside of Medicine Bow Route National Forest. We've just entered the forest and we are a couple miles up the gravel road that leads to the tower, which so far it's pretty washboarded, but it is not too rough. Well, we made it.
And we weren't sure about the road until we got off the pavement or the Forest Service road, what condition it would be in. It's very washboard and kind of rough, but very doable, even in a 2-wheel drive.
So we didn't really have any trouble, and now we're really excited to go see what our home for the next 2 nights looks like.
Yep, so check it out. Tower does have this little bucket hoist, which is handy for bringing stuff up.
To give you a little tour of the lookout tower, so you can see what there is here. I'm gonna start over here. We've got 2 twin beds with like actual mattresses. They were pretty comfortable, and we brought our own, had to bring our own bedding. And then there's 3 windows around the walls to keep some ventilation. When it got later in the day, we had the door open as well. It seems like it might get a little warm in the middle of the day. We've got a little bit of storage in this middle area. Something from the old fire tower that we're not 100% sure about. There is this bench, which I think you could easily move outside and put on the balcony temporarily if you wanted to sit outside. We're using it also as a little bit of a luggage rack. They have radio equipment that you obviously don't mess with, but the boxes make pretty good place to store things. And then over here we have a table with 2 chairs. There's a sort of half a chair over here, a little stool that we could use for other things. And then we'll move into the kitchen. There's a carbon monoxide alarm detector over here because there is a propane stove and oven, as well as all this kind of utensils that you would need. They have a pretty good selection. We've been to Airbnbs with less, so silverware and serving things, some for your pots, some pot holders, The dish towels are ours, we brought those. Down here we also have, there's a collection of pots and pans and bowls and plates and those kinds of things. Some aluminum wrap and things like that, some cleaning products. There is a fridge. It doesn't work, and from reviews we've seen and from the note inside, I'm guessing it hasn't worked in probably some time. And then last but not least, there is a propane heater, and so if it gets cool, there is some heat in here. And there is also mantle lantern lights for in the evening. And then let's see, there's also just in the cabinets and drawers, there's a collection of games and puzzles. There is a ton, you have to clean it up when we leave. There are a ton of cleaning supplies for that. And then there's just an assortment of, there's some books and there's logs from past visitors that are interesting to read, and I think that's pretty much it. There's also an outhouse at the base of the tower. It's a basic pit toilet, but it is pretty clean and a little smelly like a pit toilet, but it works. The fire tower has a capacity of just 2 people, but there is a space down below where more people are allowed to camp, and there's also a picnic table and a little charcoal grill and a fire ring, which we're hoping that the weather's going to cooperate with us and we'll be able to have a fire later tonight.
So we just got up from our first night in the tower, and neither of us slept as well as we would have expected.
No.
It was super quiet, super still, but being surrounded by windows on a half-moon night, it was pretty bright in here.
I didn't really think about that. The moon didn't set till like 2 in the morning, and then I think we maybe slept a little more. But because we didn't sleep a whole lot, I was up for sunrise. It wasn't quite what I expected either. It was really, I love being up at sunrise, and that's always really nice. But there's a lot of smoke in the air right now from forest fires out in, I guess, mostly in Idaho, that's sort of moving in. And even this morning, you can actually smell the smoke. So the view isn't quite as long as it would normally be, I think. It's still impressive, and it's still beautiful.
Right.
That's a little smoky.
So it's very peaceful up here, and it's a great place to just hang out and relax, but there is a fair number of things to do in the area.
Yeah, there's some hiking. Most of it is probably about a 40-minute drive, but we are in a national forest, and there is a fair bit of hiking. Medicine Bow Peak actually is a really nice looking hike. We haven't done it yet.
Yeah, and there's a reservoir that's pretty close by, so you can do all the reservoir-y things like fishing and boating and that stuff if you have the stuff for that.
And then there's also a place not too far that we passed on the way in where you can rent OHVs and go out exploring the Forest Service roads that are sort of all over the place out here. Like Daryl mentioned too, there's always the option of just hanging out and relaxing.
Yeah, and if you watch our channel, you know we do a lot of hiking, but unfortunately this trip we're not able to hike.
So we were gonna hike that Medicine Bow Peak Trail, and a couple weeks ago I sprained my ankle, and so I'm a little lower activity than usual, and so we're actually gonna choose the just hang out and relax option, and do some reading, play game,
Yep.
maybe have a fire tonight, that kind of thing. So
Enjoy the quietness, being out of town.
so it's a great place for that too.
Yep.
It's our second morning at the tower, and it was a beautiful sunrise this morning, and sadly we're getting ready to leave now.
Yeah, it's definitely sad. I'm looking around right now. The views are still amazing. It's a little hazy, but overall it's been really calm for our stay, which is unusual.
Yeah, all of our trips to Wyoming have been generally pretty windy. That's sort of what Wyoming is known for, but it's been really calm, and I guess a lot of times there are storms that come through this area, and people talk about those in the guest logbook, and I don't know if you can see, there's a little sign up here about staying inside the tower in a storm. It would have been an interesting experience. I mean, it's been nice that it's been calm and beautiful the whole time, but a storm would be fun too in its own way. So I think whatever you get is still, it's a worthwhile experience.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I think for such a unique place to stay, right now it's $40 a night, and I think it's totally worth it. That all the views, and it's just really unique.
Yeah, booking can be kind of a challenge because obviously there's only one room, and there's demand, and it's not open year round, so you kind of got to be on your game when you go online to book it. So just keep that in mind. You might not be able to get the exact date you're looking for.
Yeah, you need to plan ahead, and it may take you several days to succeed. There is the chance that someone will cancel, so it is worth checking the reservations just to see.
Yeah, it's really peaceful and quiet. Most of the time we've had it to ourselves, but we should mention that even though it's a dead-end road that's just for the tower, people seem to use it as kind of their cell phone spot because it's a high point in the area. So there was a lot of off-road vehicles and pickups, and you could tell they were just driving up here to use their phones.
Yeah, and at first for me anyway, I was wondering, like, why are people just coming up and just parking down there? And so it made me a little nervous, and I realized every one of them was on their phone, and a lot of them, it's early hunting season, and so I think there are a lot of people in camouflage. I think just people probably checking in while they were out hunting, and so it seems like maybe this is the known spot where you can get cell reception. So, and it wasn't a lot. It was, a handful of people each day.
But overall, I'd highly recommend the tower. Worth doing.
Yeah. We loved it, and I mean it's the kind of place where you can just sit and look out the windows and not feel like you need to do anything. It's a great place to
Now we can say we've slept in a fire tower.
We have.
No, add it to the list of unique places we've slept.
Yep.
So if you made it this far, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And until the next video.
Thanks.